Hello everybody, this is Simon with Let's Play Mega Man Quantum. We've completed the second roster of Robot Masters, that's a mouthful to say, and collected one letter each of them, which means that we get access to here. Yes, the letters are not optional, you have to collect them to get access to the final fight here. But as we have seen already, they really are not that well hidden. You will probably have to go out of your way to be as lazy as possible to not get them. Supplies are also here, which is nice because I'm running a little low on weapon energy. And of course I immediately squander it, and I do not need that E-tank, too bad. But there is even more supplies and also an interesting, to say the least, gimmick, but not for what it is, mostly for what they do with it. That is, in this room you will get pulled towards these magnet things, which actually aids your jump towards it, and it's very well programmed as the rest of the game is. It doesn't feel awkward at all, and it has the unique property that if you shoot it with a charge shot it takes ages to recharge again, which is very nice. The only thing that's really very strange about it is that this is the only time we see them. Kind of a wasted opportunity in my opinion, and holy shit, Ballade suddenly got badass. And yeah, this fight is actually pretty hard, but that's mostly because I'm really bad at it. Due to the nature of this game and all the Game Boy games as we've seen so far, there really is not that much incentive to get better at it, because if you just hammer away at him, you can very easily damage raise him, as he doesn't deal a very large amount of damage. If he would, like Punk did for example in the same place in Tertium, then I would be in far more trouble and would actually have to have practiced. But, well, it is as it is. And we get a very nice weapon from him. This weapon is actually so good that I will pretty much default to it for most of the time afterwards, as it is also very fun to use, which is great. First of all though, we get a forced tutorial on it, as we're going to see in a second, because for now everything is collapsing behind us. We pretty much took out the tank. And we also already know how to deal with the missiles, which is very nice. Now, however, they are placed in a way that we can only reach them with Ballade Cracker. Of course, we can also use Pharaoh Shot, but where's the fun in that? As you can already tell, you can fire it in every direction, and it explodes afterwards, and it really doesn't cost that much weapon energy, making it pretty much one of the best weapons ever made, which is just fine by me. And as we're also going to see, the end game of Quantum is really long, meaning that we will get plenty of time to play around it. All very fine in my book. This segment is not one of my favorites, however. I get the point, you know, to make you get used to the Ballade Cracker, and it's also pretty challenging. The big problem I have with it is that if you run out of Ballade ammo, which you can, even though it is relatively plentiful, then you're pretty much shit out of luck and you will have to die, which is never fun. As said, you can also use Pharaoh Shot, but it is pretty easy to die here also, because, well, if you shoot down the missiles below you, then you will die. If you get hit more than 3 times, you will die. Fortunately enough, if you do game over, which is very nice of them, you will start at the start of the missile segment and not at the very start of the level. You will never have to fight Ballade again, which is very convenient and something they do a lot in the end game, which is one of the biggest reasons for why I like Quantum so much. It is very accessible and a very good game, and I will not hesitate to point that out more and more as it goes on, because it is just so nice of them and you rarely see it done, even in other mainline Mega Man games. For now, however, we're back upwards in space, just like in the very first Game Boy Mega Man game. What a plot twist, of course. I was very willing to talk over it, but it does look pretty awesome and nice and everything, because, well, this game always does. Too bad that it was on a Game Boy screen really, but you can't win them all. For now, this is the last opportunity we have to spend our money, so we might as well blow it all on the best tank in the game, which is just the Mega Tank from Mega Man 5. I don't know if I'm actually going to use it or not, but might as well. And I can now recharge all my weapons, and I can't because it is ridiculously expensive. As I said, I really never got to the inclusion of this one, and I especially do not get why it is so expensive. But yeah, I will just have to farm, or maybe just kill myself repeatedly off screen, because as said, you can always game over, start out with full weapon energy loadout, and you will probably not see a death of me anyway. For now, however, a very neat background, still fantastic music, and the rest of the level next time. Thank you very much for your attention.